Anna absently touched the jagged scar that ran from her right temple down to her jawline as she refilled the coffee cup of the businessman in booth 7. She'd learned to tune out the stares, the whispers, and occasionally, the not-so-subtle comments from customers at Joe's Diner. Today was proving particularly challenging. "I said over easy, not sunny side up," snapped the woman at table 4, pushing her plate away like it contained something toxic. Her husband snickered, leaning over to whisper something that made the woman cover her mouth to stifle a laugh while looking directly at Anna's face. "I'm so sorry about that, ma'am. I'll get that fixed right away," Anna replied, her voice steady despite the familiar ache blooming in her chest. 6 years had passed since the car accident that took her parents and left her face permanently altered. 6 years of reconstructive surgeries that could only do so much, of learning to live with being the girl with the monster face, as some of the crueler high school kids had called her. Now, at 24, Anna had mastered the art of keeping her head down and her expectations low. "Hey, Freddie," she called to the short order cook as she pushed through the swinging kitchen doors. "Table 4 needs a redo on the eggs. Over easy this time." Freddie, a Vietnam vet with his own scars, though his weren't visible, nodded without looking up from the grill. "Coming right up, kiddo." Anna leaned against the stainless steel prep table, taking a moment to breathe. 3 more hours until her shift ended. 3 more hours of forced smiles and pretending not to hear the whispers. The bell above the entrance door jingled, signaling a new customer. Anna straightened her apron and pushed back through the doors to the dining area. The lunch rush was finally slowing down, and only a few tables remained occupied. The new arrival was a middle-aged man in a crisp suit that even Anna, who knew nothing about men's fashion, could tell was expensive. He moved with a quiet confidence, seemingly unaware of the immediate attention his entrance had garnered from the other patrons. His dark hair was threaded with silver at the temples, and when he looked up to meet Anna's eyes, his expression didn't change. No flicker of surprise, no poorly disguised revulsion. Just a warm, genuine smile. "Table for 1, please," he said, his voice deep and pleasant. Anna nodded, grabbing a menu and leading him to a booth by the window. "Coffee?" she asked as he settled in. "Please. Black." He opened the menu but didn't look at it, instead watching Anna as she poured his coffee. "Busy day?" The question caught her off guard. Customers rarely engaged beyond placing their orders. "The usual lunch madness," she replied with a small smile. "I'll give you a minute to look over the menu." As she turned to check on her other tables, she heard a commotion from table 4. "Excuse me," the woman called loudly. "Can we get a different server? One who's a little less distracting while we're trying to eat." The diner fell silent. Anna froze mid-step, her cheeks burning beneath her scar. 6 years of enduring taunts, and it never got easier. Her fingers tightened around her order pad as she considered her options: retreat to the kitchen, confront the woman, or simply pretend she hadn't heard. Before she could decide, the man in the expensive suit cleared his throat, the sound cutting through the uncomfortable silence like a knife. "I find it interesting," he said, his voice calm but carrying throughout the small diner, "that you're concerned about distractions when the most distracting thing in this establishment is your appalling behavior." The woman's mouth fell open in shock. Her husband straightened, puffing up his chest. "This is none of your business, pal. When someone is publicly humiliated for simply existing, it becomes everyone's business," the man replied, setting his menu down and standing. He was tall, over 6 feet, and carried himself with the easy confidence of someone accustomed to being listened to. "I'm Daniel Roberts, by the way." Several heads turned at the name. Anna had heard it before. Daniel Roberts was the tech entrepreneur who'd made headlines for selling his cybersecurity startup for billions last year. He'd been profiled in Forbes and was known locally for his philanthropy. "Your server," Daniel continued, gesturing toward Anna, "has provided nothing but professional service while you've made her workplace hostile. I'd suggest reconsidering your perspective." The husband scoffed. "Look, man, we're just trying to enjoy our meal without having to." "Without having to what?" Daniel cut in, his voice still measured but with an unmistakable edge. "Acknowledge someone's humanity? Show basic respect?" "I'm curious what the end of that sentence might be." The couple exchanged glances, clearly uncomfortable now that they were the ones being watched. "We didn't mean anything by it," the woman finally muttered. Anna, who had been standing in stunned silence, found her voice. "It's okay, really. I can get Margaret to take over your table." "No," Daniel said firmly. "That's not the solution. The solution is for these individuals to either treat you with respect or leave." He turned to the couple. "Which will it be?" The couple hurriedly threw cash on the table and slid out of the booth, avoiding eye contact as they rushed out. The bell above the door jangled, marking their hasty exit. Anna felt lightheaded, torn between gratitude and embarrassment. No one had ever stood up for her like that before. I'm sorry if I overstepped, Daniel said, returning to his seat. But I've never had much patience for bullies. Thank you, Anna managed, her voice barely above a whisper. But I should warn you, defending the diner freak might hurt your reputation. She attempted a joke, but it fell flat, too close to her painful reality. Daniel's eyes, a surprising shade of hazel, held hers steadily. First, you're not a freak. Second, I stopped caring about that kind of reputation long ago. He glanced around the diner, where conversations had cautiously resumed. Now, I hear the Reuben sandwich here is legendary. Would you recommend it? Anna smiled, a genuine one this time. It's my favorite, actually. Freddie makes his own sauerkraut. Sold, Daniel said, closing the menu. And could I trouble you for a refill on the coffee? As Anna moved to grab the coffee pot, she noticed something had shifted in the atmosphere of the diner. The other customers were looking at her differently, not with pity or poorly concealed disgust, but with something that felt remarkably like respect. Over the next few weeks, Daniel Roberts became a regular at Joe's Diner. He always sat in Anna's section, always ordered the Reuben, and always left a tip that made her eyes widen. The other servers joked that Anna had found herself a sugar daddy, but she knew it wasn't like that. He was just kind, genuinely, effortlessly kind in a way that had nothing to do with her scar or her story. On his 5th visit, Daniel came in with a slim leather portfolio. I have a proposition for you, he said after ordering his usual. Anna raised an eyebrow. I'm not sure I'm qualified to join a tech company. Daniel laughed. Not exactly what I had in mind. I've been thinking about diversifying my investments. Specifically, I'm interested in the restaurant industry. And you want advice from a waitress? Anna placed his coffee down, curious despite her skepticism. I want to invest in you, Daniel said bluntly. I've been watching you work. You know every customer's preferences, you handle difficult situations with grace, and you clearly care about this place. But I suspect Joe's Diner isn't your end goal. Anna's heart skipped. For years, she'd kept a journal of ideas, recipes, and floor plans for her dream cafe, a place where everyone would feel welcome, regardless of appearances. She'd never shared this dream with anyone, knowing how unattainable it seemed on her waitress salary. What exactly are you suggesting? She asked cautiously. Daniel opened the portfolio, revealing a business plan. A new restaurant. Your concept, your menu, your management. My capital. Anna's hands trembled as she looked through the documents. This is a lot of money. It's an investment, not charity, Daniel clarified. I believe in your potential. The scar on your face doesn't define you, but the strength you've shown living with it speaks volumes about your character. That's the kind of person I want to do business with. 3 months later, Scarlett's opened its doors in downtown. The name was Anna's idea, reclaiming and transforming the thing that had once been her greatest source of shame. The decor was warm and inviting, with quotes about acceptance and resilience tastefully incorporated into the design. The staff included several people with visible differences, a barista with vitiligo, a host with a prosthetic limb, a chef with burn scars across his arms. On opening night, as Anna surveyed the packed dining room, she spotted a familiar face. The woman from table 4 stood awkwardly by the entrance, her husband nowhere in sight. Anna approached her, professional smile in place. Table for 1. The woman's eyes widened in recognition, then dropped in shame. I don't expect you to serve me. I just wanted to apologize for how I behaved that day. Anna considered this for a moment. Apology accepted. Would you like to try our signature dish? It's on the house. As the woman followed her to a table, Anna caught Daniel's eye across the room. He raised his glass slightly in a silent toast. She touched her scar, no longer unconsciously, but with purpose. What had once marked her as different now symbolized her journey. Welcome to Scarlett's, she told the woman, handing her a menu embossed with the restaurant's tagline, where every scar tells a story worth hearing.